Well, that's that. See you next time. If Claudia actually does this, she's a fucking cunt. Hate her. Write her off. Fuck her. Since Wang was a merchant himself, he knew merchants well. That's how I know she's not fucking John. All people are countrymen first by default. They're naturally built to exclude foreigners. Wrenching aside those barriers and pushing inside was the first step towards bringing business to a new country. To do that, you just need to find the type of business among the people where patriotism is weakest and stick it to them. The most convenient targets for that were merchants in the realm of capitalism. What's wrong with joining forces with Chinatown? Nothing at all. In the first place, it's easier to get stuff from the Chinese. Ever since Madame Rose said to buy stuff from our countrymen, we're just going with the flow. In the end, that was probably done to profit business Madame Rose knows personally. Rose wouldn't do something like that. Primavera's just spouting nice-sounding words. She's probably just controlling us to turn money her way and make a killing. How dare you? That's unbelievably outrageous. Well, Kurosaki, regardless of whether it's just nice-sounding words or not, I think Madame Rose's ideals are commendable. Because of the times we live in, fellow countrymen should help each other out. I think that sounds splendid. But we're merchants. We have to be more clear-headed than anyone else. Like Wang said, Madame Rose's ideals are anachronistic. She's turning the pre-war period into an ideal and turning her eyes from reality. How can you say that when Rose can see reality, see the future better than anyone else? There's nothing wrong with having people talk about their ideals. We need people like that. I understand that. However, we merchants protect the lifestyle of our countrymen, and as such, we must look at reality clear-headedly and make rational decisions. That's how it is. Face reality, Miss Kurosaki. You people. They can't measure anything except money. They call it calm rationalism, but that's ridiculous. That's why they could easily sell their country if money was piled in front of them. They can't see the value in things that are priceless. And then the main point is their conceit. The idea that they're more intellectual than anyone else because of their so-called rational decisions for raising earnings. If money was piled in front of them, they would sell goods to an enemy nation, sell the secrets of their own country as much as they liked. Yeah, fuck merchants. They truly believe they can continue doing the same business, even if all of City 23's distribution routes are held by foreigners. That's what they get for acting all intellectual when fools can't measure value with anything but money. Merchants are such chumps. Did you see that, guys? Did you see the stupid Japanese? Looks like they really thought this was their chance to make it big. What fools? Whatever happens, they think they alone won't be affected. Those morons would sell the keys to their wives' and daughters' bedrooms if they thought they could earn a little cash. There's thousands of fools like that around the world. We'll never run out of food. Too bad, Rose. Looks like we were naive after all. You see, unless you tie stupid merchants like this up with money or sticks, they'll sell out their countrymen in a flash. Once I've gained control of all of City 23's business, I'll take everything those fools have. Oh, I can't wait to see the looks on his face. If I could have a drink and gaze upon that while Rose waits upon me, wouldn't that just be splendid? I just can't wait to see how those fools kneel and apologize to Rose. Also, are you watching this, little Mai? This is how kings fight. Do you still have so little faith in me after this? Oh god. Oh my god. Let's calm down. When you kick, you always do it haphazardly, simply relying on force. Lee straightforwardly pointed out Oliver's faults as a martial artist, but Oliver wasn't satisfied. Even Oliver was a lone wolf from alleys. A wolf who idolized Wayne. He could brag about surviving with nothing but his body. He couldn't bear having his talent criticized. I'll have to hone it in more. Your aim was half-hearted. One more time. Chinese. Even if he didn't understand what Xiaolong muttered in Chinese, it was easy for him to guess that she wasn't praising his kick. You must refine it more. Reach your target as though hitting a needlepoint. Shut up. I kick my own way. If you like those clever acrobatics, do them yourself. I've got my pride from living on my own in the alleys. You outsiders can go away. My, I do believe he hates me. Oliver, Lee was kind enough to offer to practice with you. Sulkily, Oliver wiped away his sweat and silently continued to kick by himself. Oliver would fill an extremely important and difficult role in the plan. His job was to secure the treasure room that Zell's father was being kept in. There would certainly be a single guard standing in front of the door. He had to take the one person down in a single shot without anyone hearing. If the opponent was facing the other way, it might be possible to strangle him, but he couldn't count on that. After that, this would be the guard in the treasure house, which held many of Wang's prized treasures. Even though it was one person, he would probably be tense and waiting. Oliver couldn't count on him slacking off. And it's probably going to be one of their best guys. It was necessary for him to knock the man out from the front in a single strike. It's true that handguns with silencers that can be used for assassinations exist in this world. However, they don't totally erase the sound of gunfire. I mean, you can still hear it. It's still noticeable. No matter how hard they tried, they release gunfire more than 70 decibels loud. If that rang through an open area that extended up to the 5th floor, it wouldn't be all that odd if someone noticed. Like, it's different if, like, you're really far away and use something like that, or, like, you're alone in, like, a concrete area, no reverberation outside, then it's like, no one's gonna notice, really. Your best kick is a one-hit finisher. That's the only thing we can use. I know that's why I'm training hard and polishing my skills, isn't it? But why aren't you listening when you're getting precious instructions from Lee? Zell finally remembered. Oliver had grown obedient lately. He'd started listening to what Zell said, but he hadn't used to be. He hadn't used to be like that. Oh God. He was once a blockhead who acted like a lone wolf and never listened to what anyone had said. When Lee, a person he didn't trust, criticized his priced kick, it probably ticked him off at once. I fight for my comrades in my own way. I won't take instructions from a Chinese man. If I say something, will you listen? If it's about something other than my kick. At any rate, he didn't seem willing to listen to any advice regarding fighting. However, after reflexively saying something harsh to Zell, Oliver also seemed uncomfortable. He pretended to ignore Zell and went back to pretending to kick. Okay, then why don't we spar for a bit? Oh, he's fucked. What? Spar with you? He knew that, true enough. Zell was capable of moving with practiced motions. But even so, she was a frail woman. He thought of Zell as their leader, not someone whose role it was to fight. She's gonna fucking slam his ass to the ground. You just get in the way. I can't get serious against you. Look who's talking. Okay, I'll give you a good thrashing so you can get serious. What are you talking about? Stop, you'll get hurt. No, this will be a sight to see. We get to witness Hotarubi's combat skills. He's fucked. Zella slowly walked towards him. Her eyes were serious. She seriously intended to spar with Oliver. Oliver hesitated first, but when he put on an irritated face and readied himself, then he put on. I never stand how to go easy and stop my attacks before hitting. Same here. This will be the first time I've ever acted out in violence to do anything but protect myself or kill. Interesting. Let's get some good sparring in. Here we go. Zell bowed in the manner of Japanese martial arts. Oliver hurriedly imitated her. He's fucked. However, the next moment, Zell's pinpoint accurate strike was right before Oliver's eyes. Fucking breaks his leg. Oh, why do I have to be Zell or protecting against Zell? I wanna slam him. Oh my god. Her attacks are gonna be insane. Oh, that's a good look. Is that a fucking... Oh, it's not an elbow. Okay. I can't even tell what's happening there. Oh, it's him getting slammed to the ground. If he didn't go easy, Zell would be seriously injured. It took only an instant for that assumption to be shattered into pieces. Memed. He took an assault like a thunderstorm before he knew it, and ended up spread eagle on the floor with his arms bent. Tap! He made a frail effort to counter, but he couldn't even bring it to a draw. Oliver had lost completely. Look, see my arm? It's thin, right? Not like a man's. Without taking special training over a long time, it couldn't display the same amount of force as a man's. That's why I aim for holes in the enemy's guard and vital areas. Even a woman's strength can be incredibly powerful. Vital areas? What the fuck's that? Even so, I wasn't able to defeat you instantly. It took that many moves. That's why I can't do this. Now, no matter how much I train, I won't be able to take down a guard in an instant. Only you can do that. We only have a hope if we combine your power with the techniques needed to hit vital areas. I can't save Father without relying on you, Oliver. But you won't even try to learn good form. What should I do? Zell covered her face and ran away. Oliver stumbled from the floor to his feet with a shameful expression. Damn. When I was young, I was like you. The strength of my youth was my only pride. It would merely be a pain to learn more anymore. But one day, I learned my limitations. Because of the powerlessness caused by my pride, my strength didn't measure up, and my little sister cried because of me. Men are such foolish animals. Are they pitiable creatures who cannot even arouse themselves until they make frail girls cry? You should cool your head. If you need my advice, then let me know whenever. Oliver kicked the concrete wall so hard it looked like his foot would plunge deep into it. Without moving from that position, he groaned in a voice that sounded like it was being forced out. Me. What was that? Tell me what's so bad about my kick, damn it. Please. Tell me, Lee, if you say that. Tell me, Lee. Oliver's back shook slightly. He had cried out from the bottom of his soul. This is all I have. I can't do any clever stunts like Charles and Nina. That's all I can do. If even that one thing can't help Zell, I couldn't bear it. Damn it. Because I'm a fool, I made Zell cry when she's falling apart from worrying about her dad all the time. Beat me into shape. If I fall apart and slump over, then it means that was the best I'm capable of. Youth. Very well, I will beat you into shape. Stand up. Zell and Jalon were stealthily watching this from the corridor. Then when Oliver roused himself, they let out a quiet cheer. Well said, Oliver. Get good going. Fake tears, Hotorobi. You're good. The fucking evil temptress. It would work on me, so. Okay, let's lead the rest to Lee. Now I've got to give it my all. Everyone was training hard to fulfill their roles from the plan. Trust the plan! Even Zell had a role. Now it was time for Zell to start her special training. The arranged time was drawing near. Jalon was an observer. She had to follow Zell around. However, she had no idea where Zell would be training, or what she would be doing. Everyone said they thought I could do it, but I'm really uneasy. What are they making you do? I'm not confident at all. Maybe I just got a bit too excited when they all spurred me on. The two of them left the city. The sun shone brightly, baking the asphalt. It was probably just about noon. The girls' destination was Club Primavera. What? Why are they going to Primavera? Doesn't make much sense to me. During the daytime, behind-the-scenes work such as cleaning and restocking took place in Club Primavera. For a club of ladies of the evening, daytime was bedtime. Long time no see, Zell. It's been far too long, Madame Rose. Don't worry about it anymore. More importantly, I'm glad, so now you know what you need to do. What? So now you know what you need to do. Madame Rose. Don't get in closer. I haven't decided to trust you, okay? Shut up, Wayne. Stop that, Wayne. She's my friend. Boss, I apologize for the trouble I've caused. Fuck Wayne. I'm not your boss. Scat. Wayne made a curt gesture for her to go away. Even though if he still considered Zell to be a hitman, letting her go away wouldn't be do much to protect Rose. Rose understood this pubescent boy part of him and giggled. Zell belatedly realized that yes, this was the guy Oliver was trying to imitate, and giggled too. And here's Xiaolon from Lee's group. Chinese. She bowed in Japanese fashion, but she was exactly like an unsociable, suspicious cat. Hold up there. You stay away, too, minion of GDS. Stop that, Wayne. She's Lee's guest. You can go over there. Yeah, Wayne, go fucking cry in a corner. After watching Wayne leave grumpily, Zell and Rose broke out laughing together this time. At that moment, the grand piano of the main hall stage began making soft sounds. That person is... She's the one who taught me how to sing. She used to be a real teacher. She was really good at it. Ah, hell yeah, Queen. Miss Amanda, long time no see. I've heard all about it. I thought there was something more to this kid's story, but it sounds like she's had it rough. Hotorobi, the famous Japanese killer who works secretly in Chinatown. Caleb and Miguel knew your name. I'm ashamed. Not at all. Caleb thanked you. You know Zhang? That hitman from... Oh, whatever. whom he finished off once. Kale wanted him so much he put out a reward. So I'm willing to call it even in exchange for the teaching fees from this. Thank you very much. You sang well at the Chiba restaurant. You have talent. However, if you want to become good enough to fool people, you need to be prepared to practice till you cough up blood. Amanda's strict, but she teaches really well. Good luck, Zell. She gonna teach her how to fucking give head too? Yes, ma'am. Amanda, I look forward to learning from you. So would you mind letting me hear your voice for a bit? Her personal lesson with Amanda began. Jalon was given soft drinks and snacks, but she wouldn't eat a bite, possibly because she were being offered by enemies. None of it's poisoned, so feel free to dig in, and bring out poison as a bit of a yikes from me, bro. Jalon refused in a picky manner. Rose giggled at her over seriousness. It's a word. Jalon herself was now completely lost. First pickpocketing training, then slingshot training, then martial arts training. How much that much she could still understand, but why singing training? What I am assuming is that Zell is going to stage as like this singer, though I don't know how they're not going to notice her unless she's going to like chop her hair or like dress really weird. Maybe a wig, something like that. If she's going to stage as that, they're going to be a little distracted by how beautiful her singing is. They're going to walk in, he's going to take them out, blah, 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 blah. She finally understood and clapped her hands. I see, so that's what it is. This would be necessary for getting over one of what they called the 3 hurdles. The third hurdle, how to sneak into a members-only high-class restaurant. That restaurant offered live performances from guest musicians. Bingo! Got 'em! Since the 4 wandering dogs were good with musical instruments, and Zell in particular had a beautiful singing voice, they'd grown famous in the old downtown districts. I see. So that's what it is. However, Wang's Castle was still a high-class restaurant. They would need considerable qualifications. It was a bit hard to imagine that female singer from the downtown districts and her band would be invited to a place like this. Still, I'm not sure if this is interesting or insane. That's one crazy plan you've thought up. If it goes neatly, it would be perfect. But will it really run smoothly? I think so. I think the odds are much better than starting a feud with the Kale family with only 7 people. Well, that might be true. Now that you mention it, I heard there's going to be a feud between us and GDS. But is that true? Oh yeah, I heard that from Claudia too. Sounds like the businessmen are banning Primavera and planning to team up with the GDS. Lately, I've been thinking about what Primavera's role should be. It's to protect our countrymen from enemies, right? I'd prefer you made it cool and say it's to guide our countrymen or something. At first, it was like Stella said, to protect our countrymen from enemies. They rose up against the violence of the Kale family, protecting the city folk. The city folk welcomed this and supported Primavera. After that, our goal became what Meryl said, to guide our countrymen. They bought up special offers windows and got rid of unfair exploitation and raised wages for low-level laborers. The city folk welcomed this and supported Primavera. Next, I tried to guide our countrymen so that they could regain a Japanese lifestyle and culture. But they didn't support us. And now they want to fucking turn their back on her. One technical misstep and they are wanting to dump. It's ridiculous. It's not true. A lot of people understood. Well, I guess that's just what it's like for poor people. Thanks for protecting us. Thanks for giving us more money. Now help us regain our culture? Huh? Who cares? We want to buy real soy sauce, even though it's expensive. Quit joking around. Die. All of us Japanese are poor. Those poor people are only grateful for 2 things. For protecting them, for giving them things. Only those 2. Just like babies. So then I've been mistaken. Yeah, fuck them. Like, they're greedy fucking pigs, to borrow a saying from someone. It might be a little harsh, but with the war and disaster wiping the slate clean, the Japanese are the same babies. To protect a baby and give it milk all the time is a parent's responsibility. It's affection. Making them learn a lot of things is also affection. But if you force it on a baby without considering their age and ability, it's no different than abuse. No matter how necessary a thing might be, humans can't learn it until they reach a suitable age. If a baby can't even crawl, then it's too soon to start multiplication or handwriting or piano lessons. Says you. If you force that on them, then it's neither affection nor teaching anymore. It's just egoism. There's supposed to be a proper age for learning things. I must be wrong for forcing that on the Japanese, who'd just been dragged back to square one 2 or 3 years earlier than when they lost the war. Rose. You did nothing wrong. If Rose had a sin, then it may have been that she overglorified the Japanese race. Which, yeah, overglorifying any race is pretty cringe, TBH. But she didn't do anything wrong. Her father, a foreigner, felt a deep yearning for Japan, which was a foreign country for him. That may have caused him to overglorify it at times. Yes, he's a fucking weeb! It wouldn't have been strange if young Rose had soaked that in unknowingly over time. Tokyo, the capital of Japan, was once called Edo, and was a prominent, large city on a worldwide scale. And where the fuck's Edo now? In that place, a large number of people lived their lives by helping each other. And that was the sign of the Japanese spirit of cooperation, it was said. However, who knows if it really was the spirit of cooperation driven by neighborly love. While Edo was a massive city, it was also extremely overcrowded. Neighborly relations were complicated and deep, and yet you couldn't move on to a new house whenever you liked, like you can today. It was like having a class breakup in the first grade of elementary school, and that continued into middle school, high school, college, and beyond, maintaining the same community until you died. If you became unpopular or the bullied kid, you sometimes wouldn't get out of that pit for the rest of your life. Maybe that's environment why people strove for a mutually supportive community, formed pseudo-family ties, and granted equal status for each other. It was an era without scientific investigations. If a terrible crime occurred and there was no evidence, you might be treated as the culprit simply because you were suspicious. Like that changes today. When that happened, people who were isolated and disliked within the community probably served as convenient sacrifices. Wow, it's almost like that's what happens anyways. In fact, among the famous crimes with false accusations of the early Showa era, many resulted in isolated members of the community being sacrificed for various reasons. In other words, in the Edo era, a spirit of cooperation with your community was necessary for one's own protection. Or, put another way, it wasn't necessarily true that the spirit of cooperation beginning in that era was caused by feelings of friendship.